Hey, welcome back. And today we're going to talk about a super exciting topic. I think something that heavily weighs on everyone if you're an influencer or an educator that's kind of migrated into the influencer space, and that's management. Talent management for influencers and other creatives. So once you get to a certain level as a content creator or an educator moving into the influencer space, you start to wonder, when is a good time to get management? But I challenge you to dive deeper and try to understand what is the purpose of a manager before you actually start to seek management. So a manager is really there to do exactly what their title says. It's to manage your brand and your operations as a business. As you can focus on the creative component and aspect of your life as a content creator or educator, your manager is going to read and reply to tons of emails, negotiate partnerships on your behalf. They are going to review any legal documentation, making sure that on the legal end of things, you're on the up and up. They're going to send out invoices, receive your money. So when you think of it in a nutshell, the manager is there to do any and everything in order to give you back your time and your energy so that you can focus on the one thing that you love, which is to create. So outside of managers just having a wider view of the landscape when it pertains to partnerships, when you join a management team, you're also being exposed to their contacts. If you're solely focused on a manager in order to secure brand deals, that's a telltale sign that you're not actually prepared for management. However, when you do intertwine with a successful management team, you are exposed, like I said, to their contacts, which in turn will help you secure additional brand deals. Because not only do you have the brands that already know who you are, but now you're being exposed to brands who potentially don't know who you are through your management team. Win-win. Navigating the influencer space can be very challenging, because typically most creators are focused on their creation and not the business component or the relationship building aspect that really makes or breaks a career in entertainment. Having a manager is really like having someone who just gives a damn about you. Someone and a team that has your back in this hectic, crazy industry where people are pulling other folks off the ladder trying to climb up. So just imagine on this journey, on this ride to what you deem success, you have a team behind you that's cheering and rooting you on. That's what your management team is once you find a great one. Oftentimes, influencers and educators get scared away from the exclusivity clause that's attached to management. Don't be afraid of this, because it's actually to your benefit to be exclusively managed by one team or one person. Again, the manager is sending tons of emails on your behalf to different brands and potential partners. They're negotiating the terms of your legal agreement. They're getting you paid for usage and for other companies being able to advertise their product or service using your name or your face. So imagine if you are signed with Team A and Team B, and Team A is discussing something with Colgate for $5,000 for you, and Team B is discussing something with Colgate for $3,000 for you. Colgate's gonna run to the lower budget to get the same type of partnership. So now you've created chaos in your own company and chaos behind your business name. And now brands know which manager to go to get a better rate for them for the work that you're doing. In order to clear up a lot of that confusion, it's really best to stay exclusive, because you don't want to overlap any negotiations. You don't want to overlap any exclusivity clauses with different brands or partners. And you for sure don't want to miss out on usage dollars for certain companies using your content. So again, the exclusivity is not only to protect the management company, but really it's there to protect you. How do you find the best manager? The one who's going to work really hard for you, help you take your brand to the top and really level up in your industry. Of course, you want to find a manager that has like core values and morals as yourself. They have a great communication process, and they're really knowledgeable about the industry. They have experience. They're not a fly-by-night, I know a lot about Instagram, so I'm going to start managing influencers. They're someone who have studied the market, studied the industry, understand the art of negotiation, has a legal and accounting background in some form or facet so that they can navigate through the business logistics of a content creator. However, when it comes to really finding a great manager, it has so much more to do with you than the people you're seeking to help you. The first thing is, You really want to be able to articulate what it is you need management to do for you. I can't tell you, there's so many times working in a service-based business, I notice and I hear complaints all the time about horrible managers. But when you really start to peel back the layers of the relationship between a horrible manager and the client, you often find out that the client did not truly understand what they wanted, how they wanted it, and in what formats they wanted. And I see this across the field in service-based businesses. The service provider is often blamed for not properly providing a service, but 9 times out of 10, the person seeking the service did not truly understand what they needed, what they wanted, and how they could receive it from the service provider. So I think before you even think about seeking out great management, you should be able to verbally and writtenly articulate exactly what you want the manager to do. And you don't want it to come out in a way of where you're saying, I want help creating content. I want help securing brand deals. You should be able to articulate it in a way of, I would love to have bi-weekly brainstorm meetings where I can sit with my management team and they can help me figure out what my content should look like for the next 3 weeks. That's a perfect example of how to properly articulate what your needs and desires are from a management team. That way you can actually measure if the management team has actually executed on what you've asked them to do. If you've asked for help with your content, there's really no true marker where you can measure. So I know we've all heard of like SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. You can apply that same strategy when you're trying to figure out how to specifically call out what your needs and desires are from your management team. If possible, it's really ideal to try to have a trial period with your manager, because one of the key components to a successful business relationship is communication. And we all know that we all communicate in different ways and we all understand in different ways, perspective. So if you can do a trial run where you can test out the communication styles of you and your potential manager and see if they mesh, then that's really perfect, because the last thing you want to do is to get into a long-term contracted relationship where your communication styles just don't really match. It's also really key to understand that you are running a business and your business should never be personal. One business to another business is considered B2B. You are not doing a personal interaction. Even though your brand may be personal to you, it's not a person working with a business. This is the business and art of a content creator, influencer, or educator doing business with a management team. So you want to make sure that you are able to remove all emotions attached to the business so that you can operate in black and white. Therefore, you can make wise and sound decisions on who you're going to work with, how you're going to work with them, and how you're going to execute on your goals and vision. All right, so back to you. We've already talked about having a clear action plan that you can also clearly articulate to your potential management team. But let's also talk about a key factor in having a successful relationship with your manager, because your manager is there to really run your business and have your back. So you really want to make sure that you trust the person you choose to run your company. And trust goes so much further than just saying the words, I trust you. Trust is really shown and proven through action. And some of those actions look like trusting that your management team is really on top of things when it takes them a couple of days to get back with you when you know that they're discussing with a brand a potential partnership. It doesn't look like texting or calling them or emailing them every single day for a brand update. It's trusting that when they have that update, they'll ring your line. It also looks like when your manager decides this isn't a profitable partnership and we should walk away from it, that you don't say, no, I need that money, I want to move forward. You hear your management team out and have a deeper understanding of where they are trying to take your career for you and make a sound decision on, am I going to trust my manager or am I going to ask my manager to trust me in this decision this time? The first and most important partnership of content creation when you have a management team is the partnership you have with your team. Building that trust within your team is going to help you further trust the decisions they make with or without you and for you. It's also really important that you're okay with letting go. I see this happen across the board with CEOs, entrepreneurs, content creators, and educators. Their business scales. They find someone they can trust, but then they have a hard time letting go. They want to see every email that comes in. They want to know about every phone call that happens. They want to know about every partnership that was a potential that we stepped away from. That's not you being ready to trust, and that's not you being ready to let go. Sometimes that is an indicator that there's some self-work that has to be done, because you think that maybe you're the only one who can handle things the way that they need to be handled. That's also an indicator that maybe some systems within your company should be built. That way you can trust them to follow the templates and the systems that you created, in case you don't necessarily trust that they can speak on your behalf without a little bit of guidance. If you take nothing from this video as it relates to management, take this. Don't go on the journey if you're not ready to see it through. Time and time again, I see influencers jump from manager to manager to manager. 3-6 months, they want a new management team because their management team just doesn't understand their vision. The management team just doesn't do the work that they need them to do. And when I ask these influencers to show me what their vision is, they don't have it. When I ask these influencers to tell me what their vision is, they can't speak it. So it's not hard for me to believe that the management team could not execute their vision, because the vision was never made plain. And so before you get on this journey, let's really work on understanding what your vision is now, because it may change, being able to articulate that vision, and really being prepared for the journey. Because on any journey, there's gonna be speed bumps in the road, and you shouldn't really be trying to hop out the car at every speed bump, because you won't get far on the journey. It's gonna take time and energy to build a successful relationship. To cultivate the type of relationships you want in this industry to get where you're trying to go, it takes time. It takes a couple of bumps and bruises to get it right. And that doesn't mean switching from manager to manager. That may also mean a couple of bumps and bruises with the management team you have. You're ever growing, evolving, and changing, and only you know what's in your mind and in your heart. And sometimes I know it can be extremely hard to articulate that, to bring it into words and express and share how you feel. Managers can't read your mind. And so until you get to a place where you're really comfortable and okay with speaking what's on your heart, you probably shouldn't jump in the car and start this journey to management. You can secure great partnerships on your own. You can work with amazing brands on your own. The management is just there to support you and help you as you continue to grow and scale. So yes, take all of this amazing information I have just shared about why and how and when to get management, but just make sure that you are 100% ready. Did you like this video? Did it help you just a little? If it did, please do me a favor and share it with a friend. I'm on this mission. I'm on my own journey to help as many female entrepreneurs out there with all of my free tips, tricks, and strategies. I've been in this industry for over a decade, so I've worked with the masses, influencers with 5 followers and 5 million followers. I've worked with content creators and educators who have done A-list celebrities and those still working in their living room and their kitchen. I've done it all. I've been all around. I still have so much more to learn. So if you have any information to share with me, please drop it below in the comments. But again, if this was helpful, share it with someone. And until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.